Jason. How are you?
I'm good, Chris.
Welcome back to Leading and Serving.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas?
Yeah, it's coming up.
I know.
It's just right around the corner.
I
Just
know.
a couple weeks away.
Well, I guess when this goes out, it'll
Yeah, it will be.
It'll be like really close.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm still transitioning.
I know.
It takes
We'll
me.
get there.
I'm excited about it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm transitioning.
That's right.
It came quick this year.
Y'all staying local?
I think
Or
so.
you-
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we got some family in town. We're going through some transitions with some family stuff. So yeah, that's just be a good year. Stay home,
Okay.
just relax.
Yep. Business be quiet a little bit through the holiday?
I hope so.
You hope so? Don't we all?
Right?
Yeah.
It's a great time to calm
Oh,
down and just
man.
enjoy the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
We're looking forward to just
Are you guys staying in town?
yeah, we're staying home.
Okay.
Kids coming back in and things like
No.
that. So yeah, it'd be good.
Good.
So
All the kids come. Well, your daughter's coming back home from
I hope
college.
so. She better.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she'll be here for a little while. Yeah.
Good.
So she starts school back up at the first of the year. So I think she's looking to chill for a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Before she hits the ground running again.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah. Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas.
So, hey, as we head into the holidays and we kind of think about, a lot of us are doing year-end reviews.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of resetting for the new year, thinking
Right.
about what needs to shift. I think part of that role for us is that we really need to be good listeners.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a great leader really can tune in the moment, be present, and listen well.
Right.
Because it's so easy for us to go into an encounter with an agenda and like, okay, here are the 3 things we need to cover. You doing good? Great. Moving on.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, do we sit down and actually listen? We've been talking a lot about Peace Index. We've been talking a lot about being a 100X leader, about being able to multiply health in, giving away hopefully what you possess, right?
Right.
Because you can't give away what you don't possess.
Right.
And so as you get to be more healthy and your Peace Index moves up and you're building that into your people, it doesn't work if you're not a listener.
Amen.
And if you're just like listening enough to be like catching the highlights, that's still not. So how do we actively listen and be present in the moment?
I'm hoping you're going to tell me.
Well, we got a tool for that. So
We do.
we do.
Even better.
Yeah. So this is a active listening audit.
Oh.
Okay. So just like the Peace Index, you can give yourself a number, right? We've
Yeah.
been through,
Yeah.
You can give yourself a number in these things.
Nice.
So if you want to do 0 to 100, 1 to 10, whatever, right?
Right.
Just give yourself a number, and at the end, you'll, as close as if you do. There's 5 different questions.
Okay.
And if 0 to 10, if you've got a 50, you're
Right. You're in a
pretty
good
listener,
spot,
right?
Right. Yeah.
And depending on how far away, and you'll see which one you need to work on better.
Okay.
More and more. Okay.
All right.
So the first question it asks is, how good am I at taking the time to truly understand? Okay.
Okay.
Listening takes time.
It does.
Okay. And so just asking, hey, how you doing? Where you going? What you got going on this project? And they start talking, but you're clicking on something else, or you're,
Right.
your brain immediately goes, oh, well, I need to stop by the bank and I need to.
Right.
While they're talking,
Right.
you got to take the time. If
Yeah.
you're going to ask a question, make sure you set aside the time, and if you're more the task type person,
The Guardian.
block some time,
Yeah.
Guardians, Pioneer.
Yeah.
I mean, creatives, your brain wants to spin.
Right.
Connectors, you want to spin too. Nurturers are probably the best listeners.
They probably are. That totally makes sense.
They want to sit down. They want to hear from you.
Right.
So activate your nurture voice
Right.
and be like, okay, I'm going to give 5
Even if
minutes.
it's number 5, you need to activate it
That's
at this
right.
point.
That's right. So take the time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take time to truly understand. I mean, you can catch highlights and you can kind of get the gist, but
Right.
that's not. It's
Not the
not
same
what
as
active. Yeah. Yeah.
Active listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you give yourself a score. Kind of rate
Okay.
that one, right?
Yep.
You're a 10.
I'm working on getting there.
Okay. Yeah.
I can
Me
honestly
too.
tell you that I'm not a 10.
Me too. Yeah, I'm with you. All right. So the second question is this: how good am I at asking open-ended questions to draw out what others are really trying to say?
That's good.
So if you're listening, open-ended questions mean they have to talk, not just give a yes or no.
And you can't give the answer in the question. Like, you got to give them an opportunity to explain themselves.
So, like, I'm trying to think of a good, like, hey, are we going to hit the deadline on this project? That's a yes or no. Right. You're going to hit this deadline, right? That's giving them the answer.
Yes, we're definitely hitting the deadline.
Right. So how can you ask that question, to say, all right, how are we looking? What do you have left on the plate? What's left to get done? How does that look coming up to the deadline? Tell me what you got going on and what your expectations are.
Yeah.
And it causes them to work through. And then if you got to take time to listen and fully understand the question you just asked, right?
Yeah. Totally. That's good.
So do you ask the open-ended questions? And if you've got teenagers, that's probably something you're already trying to figure out how to do.
Right. They're the hardest ones to pull stuff out of.
They can take an open-ended question and make it closed real quick.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a grunt or you're happy they acknowledged your presence. That's it.
If you really want to test your skills, use these questions.
That's
with teenagers.
That's right. And and if you don't have teenagers, we know some great places where you can volunteer and be a part of working with some kids that will help you learn these skills.
Totally.
So give yourself a rating, right? Mm-hmm. How you doing in that area, and work on that. All right. Third question of the audit is, how good am I at being able to summarize what I think I've heard from someone to check that I've gotten it right? Can you repeat that back to me?
No. I know what it's saying, but it's funny. I've been in a situation where I was coached this very way, where it was like, hey, now you need to summarize what I just asked you. And so oftentimes I'll be like, so what I think you're asking is da 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 da, right?
Right.
But I tell you, every time I do that, it feels awkward. But I also know in that awkwardness, there's more clarification.
Yes.
So
yes,
even though it's frustrating to have that awkwardness for me because I don't like it, but I also know it's for the benefit of the whole, if that makes sense.
And I've started using that word. Hey, so just to clarify.
Yep.
I just want to double check. That you're showing that you care about what they said. Whether it's, okay, so what you're asking me, or you ask that open-ended question, okay, tell me about the deadline, how the project's coming along, where are we at?
Right.
They talk for 5 minutes. Okay, so what you're saying is you've got this, and this. And you think 2 of those definitely by the deadline, or that third one too, or, repeat back what they said.
Right.
Summarize and just say, okay, if I understand what you said correctly, this is what you're saying.
Right.
And if they confirm, great, spot on, right? If they're like, no,
right,
then say, okay, well, tell me more. Tell me more.
Right.
Keep that open-ended nature going.
Because truly, like, if you're there to help them fix some of those problems or solve some of those problems, you're not going to know until you clarify what the problem is.
Right.
Because you don't know. You're not in the mix. They took that project on if you got to work into the details.
Right. And what that forces you to do is to look for the highlights.
Right.
And so you're truly listening. You're taking the time. You're asking that open-ended question. So that you're looking for those highlights of going, okay, you mentioned, task A, B, and C. This one's on track, and they're going to say like, oh, we had a problem with software, or, waiting on so-and-so to call back, and you're kind of logging some of those things too. Like, okay, so you don't think we're going to make task C by the deadline because so-and-so, how can we, then there's your next open-ended question, right? How can we urge this along? How can we move this along?
And I mean, like, I'm sure that us conversing about this, right? Coming to year end with, reviews for things of whether projects or year-end reviews for employees, whatever.
Right.
Like, the whole premise behind this is to try to help them succeed, right? So we're not coming out of this of the spirit of attack, like you're doing something wrong, right? So our goal here is to try to figure out what the problems are to help make sure that the year-end things come together, right?
Right.
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm clarifying.
Good job. Good job. All right. So rate yourself on that one.
Okay.
See how you're doing on that one. Okay.
All right.
The fourth question in the audit is, how good am I at using body language to communicate interest and attentiveness in a conversation? And I would add in not just body language, but I mean this is a part of body language, but your devices.
Yes.
Your devices. I
Yep.
mean, you know, a laptop can be a barrier.
It totally can.
Popping your phone out to glance at something can be a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, are you wanting to have a relational conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Don't sit behind a desk.
Right.
Go, you know, find a common area, you know, a little more comfortable setting, right? If this is a formal, then behind a desk makes sense, right?
Right.
And
right.
so think about your body language, your eye contact, your motions. I mean, if you're normally emotive in your actions,
Right.
you know, or not, and then suddenly you're completely different, what signal does that send, right?
Right. Don't watch some of our YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're all over the place.
Right,
and,
right.
You know.
So consider your body language, and if you're like, I'm fine, maybe ask somebody, a loved one, somebody who lives with you,
Right.
you know, or ask your business partner, somebody you have a good relationship with at work, like, what do you see in me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've had to challenge this in the past.
Really.
Yeah, that somebody consistently kept bringing a laptop, even to meetings that you're like,
Didn't require
you
one.
don't need to take notes on this, and
Oh.
your finger's always on the trackpad.
Mm.
I don't know, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you scrolling? What are you? So I've had to confront that in the past of going, are you engaged?
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny is the person never even looked up from their laptop and said, no, I'm listening.
Oh, seriously?
I was like, okay, message received. You know? So rate yourself on that of how well you use body language, how dialed into a conversation you are to pay attention. So give
That's
yourself
good.
a rating. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What's number
Last
5?
question, number 5. Here we go. How good am I at resisting the temptation to jump in and assume I know what the other person is talking about? For those of you listening, Chris is grimacing.
Right. Well, and there's moments where like I feel like I understand what they're saying, and then
I know
it's like,
exactly what you mean.
right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I couldn't resist.
It's too funny because it's like, well, there's moments where you feel like you have that clarification of what they're saying, and sometimes it's not the
Right.
thing that they're trying to say
Right.
at all, and then you feel horrible because what you thought they were saying and what they were actually saying were two way different things.
Right.
And it just kind of puts you in a bind. It's like, well, just make sure that you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
All the more reason why you need to have these questions so you don't get yourself in a pickle.
Because if you assume what someone is saying, it's easy then to miss number 3, the summarizing.
Right.
You hear point 1, and so you start building your rebuttal on point 1.
Right.
But point 2 and point 3 actually resolve point 1.
Right.
But you're busy building rebuttal, so you miss it.
Right.
Or you cut it off, and they're like, "Well, I had more to say."
Yes.
There's more important information here that you need to understand, and you're already jumping on a situation, or something. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. It totally makes sense.
I mean, people are good at putting up smoke screens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, whether
Sorry.
they're good information, like, "Hey, how are we on that deadline?" Oh, blah blah blah. Here's the great stuff that's going on, and then they don't really speak about the
Right.
And you hear the great stuff, and you're like, "Great, I love to hear." Great, we'll be on project, or we'll be on deadline, and then 2 weeks later, you're like, "Why are we missing this?" Because it was buried in the smoke screen.
Yep.
Because you jump too quick.
Yep.
And so, resist that temptation.
Yet another thing that my teenagers do really well.
They jump in.
They bury everything in the smoke screen.
Oh yeah,
It's like, hey, Dad, hey, how's this going? Oh,
Right.
it's good. And then jump off another topic.
right. Or I mean, the smoke screen can be negative as well. Like I'm not hearing back from so and so. Well, when did you actually email him? Well, yeah, last night.
Right.
I haven't heard back from him.
30 minutes ago.
What do you
I still haven't heard.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
true.
saying I've used any of those in the past.
Right. And I mean, truly, so point in case, right? If we know this about ourselves, there's a good chance somebody else has used it too. And not that it's a bad thing, just it is what it is.
Yeah.
So then recognize it for what it is. And hopefully with the clarification of these questions, you can better understand how to help that person.
Right.
Maybe they're running behind because they're too busy with something else and they couldn't get to it.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
great observations.
Yeah. So this is helpful. I mean, if you're running a team and you want to use this one day, is like, hey guys, let's talk through these 5 questions. This is something that we're gonna honor as a team with each other.
Right.
Let's work on these. And I mean, this is great little audit to use, in terms of your listening.
And not very time consuming.
No.
Like if you sat down and thought about this and did this with your team, I bet you wouldn't consume a lot of time.
No, not at all.
I don't think
Not
so.
at all. Wouldn't take long. So,
That's great.
So bottom line, rate the 5 questions, add them up, kind of
Figure
see
out
where
where
you're
you're
at. Yeah. If you're a 8 on a lot of these and you're 3 on one, spend some time working on that.
And if you're a high nurturer, you probably don't need to spend as much time on it.
Right.
And if you're a high guardian, you probably need to spend a little bit more time on it.
Maybe.
Right? And depending on where you land
Yeah.
on some things.
I mean, I know some guardians who are really good listeners because they see a system of here's how I listen, here's what I need to do, and they get the job done.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's...
just recognize your own personal...
Each voice, whichever your foundational voice is, takes a different bent on how to be a good listener.
Good call.
So pioneers, have to set aside the urge to accomplish something, that listening is accomplishing something.
Yeah.
And so a lot of pioneers are like, okay, you've talked for 30 seconds. It's time for
It's
to
my
move
turn.
on.
Let's move on.
And so, creatives, I hear something and my brain starts spinning and I'm like, ooh, but we could take that and then we could run to this. And, and then I miss the next 5 minutes of what they were saying.
Right.
And connectors are similar, that they're, enticed by the next shiny thing. And so connectors hear a tidbit or they mention a name or something. You're like, oh yeah, I need to.
I do like shiny things.
Yeah, we do. So, great tool. Use this with your team.
Yeah.
Run yourself through this and such. So
We actually do have somebody that's coming on today that is a great listener.
she is a pretty
She is a
darn good
phenomenal
listener, isn't she? Yeah.
And that's interesting that we're having this conversation with her.
Yeah.
as She's coming in to talk with us today.
Yeah. So tell us about this.
So Renae Furnee is coming back in to visit us. We actually
Back on the
had
podcast.
her earlier this year.
Yeah, I think it was February.
Yeah, somewhere in
Something
there.
like that, yeah.
And so she has hit an explosion of growth
Yeah.
in this time frame. So we invited her back in. It was like, hey, would you mind coming back and talking with us? Because it's just amazing to see what she's done in however months it's been, and just give us a little insight on how her growth has truly changed in this time frame.
Yeah. Things have changed rapidly for She's with Resources of Hope.
Yes, sorry.
She is the executive director at Resources of Hope.
And I'm sure she's going to tell you that they are in a phenomenal organization, and they are always looking for corporate sponsors and stuff like that because they have a lot of neat things going on.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Let's jump in and chat with her.
Let's welcome back our first ever repeat interviewee.
Renae, she's phenomenal.
Here we go. All right.
Well, welcome, Renae. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back. It was
Thank you.
Renae is our first repeat
She is.
interview from February 9th of 2022.
Yes.
It's been almost 10 months
a
at this
long time.
point. So a lot has changed.
A lot has changed.
Yeah. And so we want to just kind of review the year, see what all's happened this past year, and just kind of catch up, see what's going on. So
Fantastic.
So remind our listeners, for those who were not listening back in February, tell us a little bit about who you are and, where you came from and where you're at today.
Okay. So I'm Renae Furnee, Executive Director at Resources of Hope. We are a nonprofit out in Whiteland. We help foster youth and the families that care for them. Everything that we have is also open to kinship families, and we have 5 different programs. We have our clothing closet, birthday blessings, Teen Connect, community outreach events, and our training for our families. So
Very cool. And basically, just quickly, I mean, the clothing closet is open to, like you said, foster and kinship families. So people can come in and grab everything from cute shoes to what's the range of things that y'all offer through that?
Sure. We serve any kiddo that's in the foster kinship care system. We serve preemies up to age 18. So anything that you can think of that kids would need, more times when they come into the foster system, they only have the clothes that they're wearing or the diaper that they're wearing. So it's a lot of stuff that foster families are then presented with having to get for their kids. So we provide up to 2 weeks worth of clothes, a couple of sets of pajamas, socks, shoes, underwear, diapers, wipes, toothbrushes, toys, stuffed animals, blankets, whatever. We have a lot
Books.
of infant equipment, books. Yeah.
I've seen galoshes and snow boots. I mean, just
snow.
Halloween costumes.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Anything you guys can think of that a kiddo would need, we try to have it. And if we don't, we try to get it.
Yeah.
The nice thing is, not only do we serve kids that just enter the foster system, but we're able to come around the foster family throughout the years that they're in their home. So when the seasons change or when the kids grow, then the foster parents can come back and go shopping for their kiddos.
Yep.
Wow.
It's very cool.
That's
and the birthday blessings is?
Yeah. So it is exactly what it sounds like.
Comes once a year.
Foster,
right?
Yeah. So parents go online and fill out a form, tell us a little bit about the kids in their care, and then we go shopping for them. We have a whole room dedicated to birthday blessings. It's full of brand new toys, brand new outfits. You wouldn't think a brand new outfit would be so important, but when a kiddo is of school aged and gets an outfit that has a tag on it, that's a huge deal. They may never have had a new outfit with a tag on it. And we also offer party packs, which is really fun. It's a cake mix and frosting and sprinkles and candles and birthday plates and a happy birthday sign. And it's basically a party in a bag.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool. Very cool.
That is neat.
And then you guys do Teen Connect.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. We meet, right now we meet twice a month, but we will be at the end of Q1 next year, hopefully adding 2 more groups into that program. So we'll meet 4 times a month. And we get together on Friday nights and have dinner and have some sort of a activity. Teenagers in foster care are at higher risk of everything bad that you can think of. If you think about suicide, dropping out of high school, drug use, becoming homeless. And we just really feel like there are not a lot of programs in our area that are dedicated to teenagers in foster care. So Teen Connect is open to 12 to 17-year-olds. And we get together, we have dinner, we've had car care, we've had a self-defense class, we've done hygiene talk, we've done finance talk, what it looks like to, I don't know if people really have checkbooks anymore, but what it looks like to save $1, a week or $10 a month and what that could look like, the importance of making good decisions. One of my favorites was when we talked about friendships with our girls, and we made friendship bracelets, and all the girls decided they were going to keep them instead of give them away. Typical teenagers, right?
Right.
So, we love our teenagers and giving them some more attention and support so they don't feel so alone.
That's awesome.
Very cool. And then you guys do some trainings for the parents, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah. So in order to maintain your foster license, you need a certain amount of hours per year of training that is approved by Department of Child Services. So we provide a different training every month. It's a 2-hour training, typically on Saturday mornings. All of our trainings go up the chain and are approved by DCS. We're able to offer childcare at our trainings, which is a really big deal because a lot of places not a lot of places offer training, but the ones that don't usually have childcare. So it's a huge deal because foster parents
I was going to say.
obviously have kids.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. But yeah, we've done, I don't know, when I'm on the spot, I never remember all of our training. So we've done everything from ethnic hair care to suicide prevention. We do CPR twice a year. We've done, Jason, what's some other ones you've been to?
Like mental health.
Yeah.
And did y'all do like a human trafficking?
We did do human trafficking and internet safety.
Internet, that's right.
We did sexual abuse prevention.
Yep.
All that good stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some light topics.
Right?
But But it's important to know,
Yeah.
understanding substance use disorder. That was a popular way. We've done that twice. Couples conflict resolution. That was a good one too. Fostering is very challenging on a marriage. So couples conflict resolution was spot on.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. And then the fifth program, it's skipping my mind. Was it the Christmas?
Community outreach events.
Outreach events, that's
so
right.
I kind of group all of our
Gotcha.
one-time activities into that category. But so we have our Hope for the Holidays coming up. It's our 5th annual Hope for the Holidays.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yep. So that's coming up the first weekend and Saturday. We get together and have a big party with our foster families. Nobody understands what it's like to be a foster parent like other foster parents. So we'll have Santa. We have pancakes with Santa. All the kiddos get new presents. We'll have crafts and just give a chance for foster families to meet other foster families. The kids run around crazy, and there's no judgment because we all get it. So we do that in December. In May, we have our foster parent appreciation picnic. So that's a lot of fun. And then we have quarterly recharge events, which is 3 hours of free childcare in the afternoon. So we partner with Greenwood Christian Church to put that on, and Franklin Applied Behavior Services.
Oh, wow. That is neat.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow.
Very cool. Yeah.
That is a lot of stuff.
I mean, my family, we're involved in foster and adoption and such. So, I don't know if we got to go to the very first. I was just thinking 5 years of Hope for the Holidays. I wonder if we were in that first one, if we knew you guys then.
I feel like you were. It was in the bottom of our old facility.
Yeah.
So it was the only one that was
That was the only one there? Then yes, we did. Yeah, that's right.
I feel like you did.
So, you talk about foster families connecting. And I mean, 5 years ago, I would have been like, I don't know. Maybe we do. I don't know. 5 years later, I'm like, absolutely. Especially my wife. She knows all of the foster moms in the area, and there's such a connection. And and she's an introvert, and and so it works. It works. So thank you for what you do. And I mean, every one of those programs have been huge blessings to our family, and so we're grateful for that. So
give us a little bit of a rundown. So I mean, I'm so glad that you reviewed that because some of that stuff I didn't know. But give us some update. Like, we know there's a lot that has changed in your world since we interviewed you last time. Sure. And so we're kind of excited about everything that's going on in your world. So we'd love to get some insight on maybe some of the growth that's come in this time frame and all the things that you've got going on that have changed.
Yeah. Well, our biggest change is we relocated to a larger facility. So where we're at now is almost 3 times larger.
Oh my goodness, that's
our
huge.
last place. Were you ever at our last place?
For a split second, I think.
It was very small. It was more of an office type building. I mean, it served us well.
Right.
From the time we moved in there, it was great.
Do you know ballpark square footage of that place?
It's a little over 2,000, I thought.
I don't think it was 2,000.
Not quite?
I want to say it was like
800?
No, it was between 800 and 2,000. I want to say it was like 1,800. I want to say 1,819. Yeah. But we had just as much shopping space as we did storage space. Whereas now we have much more storage space, and we have space for our Teen Connect program and our trainings. So we don't have to go to other places for our trainings, and our teens get their own place where they didn't have their own place before.
Oh, wow.
So it's huge.
Yeah.
We have a kitchen.
Oh, that's
so
exciting.
much fun.
Right.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you would, in the old place, if you walked in, it was basically like your basic small reception area.
Okay.
And if 2 or 3 families were trying to drop teenagers off at the same time, it was scoot over to the side so one person can walk by. I mean, it was tight. It was tight. And
wait in the hallway. We've had to, on Saturdays, we're open one Saturday a month, and those Saturdays are usually pretty popular. Foster parents work sometimes, so they can only get out on Saturdays. But I remember one time in our old place where we had to have families wait in the lobby, like outside of our door, because we had 2 families in shopping with their kids. So that was like 7 kids. and we couldn't fit another family in.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Right.
But now we can.
Yeah.
So it's
And right outside that door, it was second story. So you went up stairs to just a small little second level landing to wait outside the door. And yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And and even
Things
with
were
foster
tight.
care, I think this is one of the neatest benefits with the new place is that a lot of the kids are medically challenged at times, and there was no. It was just a stairwell access, and so
okay.
some of the kids getting up to that second floor to go shopping and stuff was a challenge,
It was a huge challenge.
huge
yeah.
challenge. And now you're handicap accessible with a little ramp and cool little mural going down.
It's fun.
That's awesome.
It's so much fun. Yeah.
So that's obviously opened more doors, I guess, I assume, since you've been able to do that.
Yeah,
which-
absolutely. Well, it's opened more doors to volunteers as well.
Really?
Because we couldn't
Really?
have volunteers. I mean, we could only
'cause you
have
could only
another
fit so many people.
volunteer. Yeah, 1 or 2 people at a
Oh,
time.
my goodness.
So now we have a lot more volunteers. They're a lot more happy because they can move around.
Right?
They can see progress. I think last time we talked about, feeling a sense of helping and being able to see that you're helping. It's hard when you're crammed into such a small place to see
Right.
that you've made a difference. So, yeah, I think our volunteers are a little bit more happy too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So when did that transpire?
July.
And did you know that?
Technically July 1st. I think we're still unpacking and moving and stuff, getting settled, but technically July 1st is when.
And did you know that you were, I mean, had you had that come together pretty quickly, or was that something that you weren't sure was going to happen? And
Well, you're not really sure anything is going to happen until it happens, Chris. But it was the beginning of May 2021 when I first walked through that place with Ross Stackhouse, who his nonprofit Heaven Earth Spaces is the one that owns the building that we're in. So yeah, it was May of 2021
Wow.
that we first walked through.
a little bit of a process.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It was all new to me though, so
Right.
it's not. I mean, nothing bad. It
No,
just,
yeah.
It takes
I mean,
time.
it's just, you don't know until you
Yeah.
dive into some of that stuff.
So what's one of the biggest things you learned through that process? Frustrating or
I know.
surprising, either way.
There's. Oh my goodness, there's so much.
Were
I
you
learned
able
so
to
much.
just walk into the new space and just do what you wanted to do, or was it already set up the way you wanted it? Or
No, we built walls. We had new floor put down. Everything got painted. New light fixtures. We painted the ceiling a dark gray to kind of upgrade the space, which was fantastic. But it killed the lighting. So then we needed all new lighting. It was just so much stuff.
So you definitely went through some learning
yes,
stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because this is not like a 30-year-old commercial
no,
building.
it's over 100 years. Yeah,
Right.
it's the lower level. I don't like to say basement because I feel like people think it's all creepy.
It's garden level.
It's it's the lower level of an older church building, and it needed some TLC for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got some growth through that
Got-
construction process.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm not in the construction business,
No.
so I definitely learned a lot.
That's awesome.
Good thing there are people I know who are in the construction
Right.
business.
That's right. That's right.
So then, what was then after that? That sounds like a huge hurdle that actually took quite a bit of time. What else has been?
It's still going on,
And
but
still-
it's slowing down a little bit, so
Right.
that's good. So now we're
Starting to get-
catching up. We're
get
playing catch
comfortable
up with the other
with
stuff.
your
yeah.
space now.
Yes.
So what's the
What
next
else is
big
new?
thing?
So the next big thing, I don't know if we talked about this when we were here last or not, but as of January, I became an employee of Resources of Hope, so
There
a
you
full-time
go.
employee.
That's
So that's
exciting.
the first full-time employee of our little nonprofit. So that's a pretty big deal.
And just for clarity's sake,
Yeah.
that's not when you started.
No,
Right. So you
no, I've been with since the beginning. So
Okay.
yeah.
and
but-
you said that they've been open for 4 years or 5 years.
October 2028 is when we moved into our first building.
Okay.
Wait, 2028, did I say?
Yeah, that's in the future.
Yeah. I just warped back in time to do this interview with you.
So 2018.
2018.
Okay.
October 2018.
There you go.
So
I got you.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And in October, we just hired our first part-time person. So we
Wow.
have
Hey, hey.
added a full-time and part-time employee in 2022, which is big.
Yeah. going to say that's a huge thing for a nonprofit to be able to go down that road and actually bring on people.
Yes.
What has made the difference to be able to make that change in growth, and did something shift?
No, I don't know if something has shifted or not.
More donors. That's the
more
easy
donors,
answer.
more fundraisers, a lot more fundraisers.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a lot of fundraising. We have met some amazing people in the community that have stepped up. We've met some amazing organizations and churches that have, seen the need for what we're doing. They're surprised when I give out the Indiana ranks number 6 with the number of kids in foster care.
Right.
Why aren't there more support organizations?
Right.
I don't know. I said, I don't know either, but we're doing the best we can.
Yeah.
Right.
So there are some amazing churches, amazing businesses that have come alongside and partnered with us and helped us. Obviously, with putting a salary and a half in our budget and moving to a bigger space, which is more rent and everything, we couldn't do it without people helping out financially.
Right.
Let me just ask you, from a business perspective, I know that nonprofits, struggle with that. At least the nonprofit boards that I've been on have struggled with the back and forth of the finances and recognizing that there's a cost to doing it, but also recognizing it's a nonprofit, right? So you go back and forth with the reality of your expenses and stuff like that. So when you jump that huge hurdle of bringing on employees, right, has it shifted anything for you? Has it given you the ability to take more time to focus on some different things that you've had to neglect or not neglect in the process of trying to add? I mean, well, first of all, you were already doing it all, and then you became a full-time employee. So that was a transition and a half. And then to add another person on top of that is huge in my eyes. But I'm just curious, did adding that other person free you up to be able to do some other things, or did you find that you were neglecting some things and had to deal with those?
It hasn't freed me up yet, but when we get there, it definitely will free me up to be able to do some other things. I've, with this move, I've definitely gotten behind in paperwork and some of my admin stuff, I'll be honest. But
well, I mean, you only have so much time, right? And you're doing a lot.
Yes. Well, and like you guys know, I now have a 3-year-old added to the mix.
Right.
So my 16 and 18-year-old were pretty much, grown and gone, and I had more time, and now I have a 3-year-old that's in my house. So yes, it's time management. I'm definitely going through a little shift of what I'm able to do, but hiring Heidi, our part-time employee, will definitely help when we get caught up from the move. I'm still catching up.
Yeah.
But and as far as budgeting, I think our approach as an organization was to not start paying someone until we were sure we were financially secure enough to be able to do that. So could we have started a salary a year ago? Probably. But I didn't feel comfortable doing that because I wanted a certain amount in our account and able to be put into, on the side for employee wages.
When you did take the step, then you felt really confident in your ability to continue it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So the initial, because I mean, truly many nonprofits and business owners too, I mean, it isn't really which way you go with this.
Yeah.
Many times jump the gun thinking that it's a good idea to go ahead and hire, and it's not because they can't maintain it.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you took the slower road.
So I was actually supposed to start receiving a salary about 6 months prior to that. And I said no, because I wasn't comfortable with what was in our account. And I said, I'm not doing this. Obviously, a salary is nice, but I'm not doing this for the salary. I'm doing this because there's a huge need out there, and this is what I can do to fill that need. So I said, I want to be more financially secure.
That's awesome.
So
That's cool.
It seems like some of the other business owners that I've talked to here recently, it's taking that slower road is oftentimes seems like the more beneficial route. It seems like to me. But I also know that, there's other people that do it differently. And I'm just was curious to know from your perspective. Yeah. So you're very thankful that you took it that road versus
I am.
jumping.
I'm always, Yeah, but I'll always go. I'll always go that way.
Yeah.
Like save.
Right. That's awesome.
So talking about financing and fundraisers, what do you guys have in because you said you're doing a lot more these days. So kind of give us a picture of what you do throughout the year, but I know you've got a big one coming up after the first of the year. So tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, our primary fundraiser will be the first weekend in March. It's our all in for foster youth casino night. And that is our biggest fundraiser. So our goal this year is to raise $30,000. We raised a little bit over $20,000 last year, and that will really help us get in, start out the year in a good financial situation. We will have 2 purse bingos next year as well. And we started last year this Egg My Yard fundraiser. Have you heard about that? So have you heard about that, Jason? You're looking at me like.
I'm having flashbacks to high school. So
Right. So I was like, what?
Yeah. Then what I remember in high school was not positive. So how does this work?
Probably different. So we partner with other churches and ask their middle school ministry to fill plastic eggs. So first we go to the church and we say, would you like to partner with us in this fundraiser? We ask that you collect plastic eggs and candy. And then the goal is to have middle schoolers fill those eggs with candy and high schoolers hide the candy in yards. So who gets their yard egged? You pay for it. I don't remember the dollar amount off the top of my head, but you have a choice of 50 eggs, 75 eggs, or 100 eggs. And there's different amounts, and you pay that amount, and high schoolers come the night before Easter, and they hide eggs in your front yard, only in your front yard. In your front yard. And this year, we have the option of sponsoring a foster family. So you can pay to have your own yard egged, or you can pay to have sponsor a foster family to have their yard egged.
That's a great idea.
Isn't that fun?
I love it.
Well, I got so many churches that reached out and said, my middle school ministry wants something to do. And I'm like, especially in our old place, I'm like, you can't even get your middle school ministry up here, let alone do something. And I love getting kids involved. Obviously, I think, yes.
Great way for them to get back.
Right. It's a great way for them to give back. It's a great way for them to learn about foster care. Because usually myself or another representative of ROH goes in and talks with the kids as they're filling eggs or before they start egging the yards and tell them who we are, what we do, what foster care is, why foster care is needed. So we're getting the word out there, which is important also. So, yeah, that's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, that'll be in March, obviously April.
Have you been part of that? Did you do that? Or
No.
did you just start that this year?
We started it last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
great. I love that idea.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Sadly, I don't know when Easter is next year. I haven't looked that up yet.
Yeah.
So
I want to
we'll
say
get
it's
there.
early. I want to say it's like
In
9.
the rotation, it should be early, more in March this year. So, yeah.
It's in April, but I think
Oh, it's in April?
it might be the
Oh, okay.
first Sunday.
All right. We'll look it up.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll look it up.
Anyways,
Easter,
but yes,
so.
our big fundraiser is in March. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's coming
That's
up.
exciting too.
Yeah.
That's
By the
super
way,
exciting.
that was a blast.
That was fun.
Last year we
got to go
went.
last
So
year.
just
That
so
was
you
fun.
know, if you can be there, it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. And
And
we're
it's
looking for
not-
sponsors.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, looking for sponsors, and it's not a, you're going to gamble your money to make money. You're the casino. Tell us how the casino part works, because that was a mystery to me.
Yeah,
until
that was-
really. So you go and you're playing games, casino games. But how does that work?
Sure. So it's a fundraiser. So there's no money exchanged for playing the games, and there's no money paid out at the end. So what you do is you go and you get chips, and you play blackjack,
I think we're
roulette.
I was going to
There's
say,
a
I think we're playing
roulette table.
roulette.
Poker.
Yeah.
Poker.
Poker. What else was there? I think there was a fourth one. I don't.
Hopscotch.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, something like that, I don't know.
I'm not sure what was hopscotch.
By the way, the
but it was
guys
something like
last year
that.
were awesome too.
Yeah, casino experts. Yeah, they're doing it again this year. So you play, you get your chips, and at the end of the night, you cash in your chips for tickets, and then you put your tickets in little jars next to amazing prizes, and then we pick out a ticket per prize.
Yeah.
So, what was it? Do you remember your favorite from last year?
I like the roulette.
What was your favorite prize? What was
the
your
prizes.
What
Oh,
was
the
your favorite
prizes.
prize? Well, that's cool that you
I was
like
like,
that. Though.
I actually
we'll have that again.
That and my wife enjoyed. She hadn't known, and she didn't know how to play some of them, and so that's why I said the guys that were really good were teaching us how to play if we didn't know how to play something, which was amazing.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
you don't have to go in knowing how to play anything,
which was awesome.
Yeah,
Right.
So I was nervous because I don't know how to play a lot of those.
And you're not
games.
playing with air quote real money.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so
I mean,
you
like,
just go and have fun.
and you can have fun and learn through the process a little bit. So that was good. Sorry.
That's
yes,
okay.
the prizes. What was?
Oh my goodness. I don't.
There was a
Remember
whole
any of
bunch
them?
of.
I remember there was a giant TV. There was some
a-
spa packages.
Yeah.
Something with maybe Colts tickets or.
There's a zoo package,
Zoo package or,
family membership, annual family
Yeah.
membership. There was a Puerto Rico. Was it Puerto
Oh,
Rico?
that's right. There was
a-
a
yeah,
week
like 7
for-
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I was having that too.
There were a lot of tickets in that
There was
jar.
a stock the bar basket. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
that was popular.
Yep.
I think there was a bourbon basket too.
Yep.
Then there was a lottery ticket basket. That was fun.
Oh,
Whoever
that's
won
right.
that,
Yeah.
hours of entertainment. I don't even know. I should have followed up with
Right?
him to see
Like,
if
yeah.
they
making
won
money?
anything. Yeah. Lots of fun stuff though.
That's awesome.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Going to the same place?
Yep.
Okay. So back at Barnet Bay Horse Inn?
Barnet Bay Horse
Okay.
Inn. Yeah.
First
May-
week of March.
Yeah. Thank you. I said May. March 3rd.
March 3rd.
Yeah.
May of 2028.
I don't know.
So if
Did I mention we moved this year? That's my ever for the last
your
8
excuse.
months. I'm
That's
like, yeah, we're
awesome.
moving. I'm like, I'm sorry.
we moved, I hired my first employee, and I took a
3-year-old,
3-year-old in for foster care. Yeah, no problem.
Right.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
You're not-
What are you going to do next year? How are you going to top that?
Oh, I don't know what God's got in store for me.
That's too funny.
I don't know.
All right. So if we're, if you're a church and you're hearing the Egg My Yard thing, or you're a business thinking about sponsorship for the casino night, I mean, Resources of Hope. What's your website?
www.resourcesofhope.org.
.org. Resourcesofhope.org. Super simple. But if you're a foster care parent or a kinship placement listening, going, I had no idea this was in my community. Tell us a little bit about how they could get connected to you for resources, and kind of what that experience is like that first time
Sure.
showing
Shopping.
up or
Yeah.
showing up at an event or something like that. Tell us a little bit about that for the.
Well, to connect with us, I think the easiest way would be to go on our website. And then
You can take a drink if you need to.
I'm
That's
sorry.
right. You're fine.
You're fine.
We'll fill space. We're good at finding dead air and
Take a drink of water.
Yeah. Well, both of y'all are. Now I have to keep talking to keep the people.
Good job,
All
Jason. I'm proud of you.
You're welcome. I am glad to serve however I can. All right. So
Sorry
we
about
go
that.
on the website.
So that's the best way to get in touch. My email and other email addresses are on the website, so it's really just
Gotcha.
the easiest thing to do, or to look us up on Facebook or Instagram. If you need to utilize our clothing closet, you just come in. You don't need to set up an appointment. You can set up an appointment if you want to, but just come on in. We're open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. and the first Saturday of the month from 9 a.m. until noon. Again, all that information is on our website and our Facebook page. But that's going to be the easiest way to get in touch with us. We are very welcoming. You don't have to feel embarrassed. We have some kinship families. I think the kinship families have a harder time coming in and shopping in our space than our foster families. But we've got some families that just, they feel, I don't know if they feel bad that they're needing, items for their kiddos or what, but there's no judgment from us. We have all been there. We're literally our volunteers, our employees. We are foster parents. We understand how hard it is. We understand how isolating it can be, and we just want to be there to help you. We want to help extend your journey in foster care, and we want to help make it a possibly more positive experience, because it's not always positive. So yeah, nothing to be shy about.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Our events are great. There are always a couple families that don't know about us until they show up to one of our events, and then they're a little blown away. It's a little probably overwhelming, the amount of just love and support that are at these events. So
Is even now that you've moved into a bigger space, are you looking for volunteers as well?
we are. We need some more. This is a good time to say this, I suppose. So we're looking to expand our Teen Connect program, and with that, we're looking for Teen Connect mentors. So if you're interested in hanging out with teenagers, if you have experience with foster kids or with teenagers, that's a big plus. We meet on Friday nights from 6 to 8, but we will have 4 separate groups. So right now we're asking for mentors for one group. Like your commitment would be one group. So it would be one Friday night a month. It would be helping plan and then being there to support the kids. We have a couple meetings throughout the year, but that's the big thing is that you would need to be there on a Friday night.
Very cool.
But
Cool. So that's the biggest need right now.
that's the biggest need for our volunteers. We do have need for closet help also, but the biggest people that I'm looking for are for our Teen Connect program
Connect,
to help grow that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Well,
Very cool.
thanks for throwing that out there.
All right. So resourcesofhope.org, and you can find all the email addresses, phone number. You're open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 6, and then the first Saturday
Yes.
of the month.
Yeah.
Okay. And guys, gals, there's a lot of ways you can get involved.
Yes.
A lot of ways to make an impact in your community.
And if you have a
Do
question
this.
about it, I'm sure Renae can answer your questions for
That's
you.
right.
I will do my best. I love questions. Questions
that's awesome.
means people are engaged and want to know, and I love that. So yes,
awesome.
please come to
Absolutely.
me with questions.
Absolutely.
All
All right. Well, thank you for coming back.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
thanks for
You've probably secured another annual update at some point in the future,
I'll be
at
back.
least by 2028.
especially as you keep changing things.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I know.
Curious to see where this goes in the future. And thank you for all that you and Heidi and the rest of the board and volunteers at Resources. You guys are amazing, and
Amazing.
thank you for all that y'all do.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll see you guys back here in just a moment.
Jason, I always love talking to Renae.
She's incredible.
She is, and the things that her and I mean, I keep forgetting. There's so many people around her, but she has done an excellent job of leading a team that is making a huge mark on so many people.
Right. Right.
And it's just like, it is amazing how many people she touches with the things that she does and how impactful it is.
Right. And the growth is all through donation.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't sell products. They don't have a and so
They're not.
what a phenomenal job to like catalyze the community to support the work of the organization.
Right.
I mean, just incredible.
And for a nonprofit to go from where, I mean, I don't know how long, I don't remember when she said she started, but like for it to be going as long as it has and the huge jump that she's made this year. I know there was a lot of stuff going on in the works prior to this year, but for it to come together as fast as it has this year has just been amazing.
Right. To run with no staff, no paid staff. Sorry.
Right.
There were staff.
Yeah, there were staff.
And Renee's been doing this for, a few years, right?
Right.
To run with no paid staff for a few years and then to jump to what they've, a full-time and a part-time this year. That is phenomenal.
It's
Phenomenal.
huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And based for a nonprofit to be able to grow that quick is just huge. I mean, like there's a lot of nonprofits out there that are struggling with with their ability to get the funds in to make this kind of impact.
Yeah.
And she has done an excellent job of not only bringing the funds in, but also making that impact.
Right.
And it is very much visual for those that know it's there.
Right. And I keep running into business leaders around town who are connected to her. Like,
Yeah.
does that, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it, I guess.
That are
like-
that know of her and have,
Yeah, they're already. I feel like
Participating.
I'm like, oh, you should check out what Renee's doing at Resources Hope, and they're like, oh yeah,
we're already doing that.
like oh, okay.
Right.
I thought I was doing a good job being a connector there,
Right.
and so I'm just really excited the impact that she's having.
Yeah.
And so, we want to just encourage you. This is an opportunity in our community to do some good, and and she is always needing individuals and businesses to come alongside to help support She's got the big casino night coming up after the first of the year.
Super excited about that.
Some purse bingos, things like that. That if you want to be a part of, driving positive change in our community, this is an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Great opportunity.
Great opportunity.
And
you can get involved and volunteer as well.
100%.
There's a lot that she can,
Yeah.
that she needs help with. And
Yeah.
because she is moving and shaking. That's for sure.
If you're an OCD organizer type person, she needs help in the back room.
Right.
If you're a people person, she needs help. Running the shop, interfacing with the community. I mean, there's
And truly,
something for everybody.
Like, it doesn't really matter what, if you're more prone to help kids versus adults, then she needs your help. But if you're more prone to help adults versus kids, then she needs your help. Like, she's affecting parents, she's affecting kids, she's affecting everybody.
From babies to elementary to teens to adults, every age group needs something.
Yes,
100%.
and she is affecting them all, which is exciting.
Absolutely.
So,
well, Renae, thank you for
Yes.
joining us yet again. Maybe you'll be our first three-peat at some point, right?
there you go. We'll look forward to the growth for 2023.
That's
and
right.
Come back with you. So.
All right, y'all, head over to leadingisserving.com and leave us a comment or review, or watch some videos. Yeah, no, that may not be the best suggestion. Listen to the audios.
Yeah, if you see us waving around and crazy.
Yeah, we're very picturesque. But no, let us know. You can send us a voicemail of all things,
I'm
and,
still amazed that we can do that.
That's cool, so cool. But you can leave us a message, and if you want to support,
Yep. There's a link for that too.
Buy a coffee kind of link, and
Check us out.
we love it. Thanks for listening in.
And make sure you share.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.